All right, everybody. Back to the frame on the El Camino. We're stage 2, I would call this. We have this whole frame sandblasted and metal prep with this after blast prep. This stuff is pretty amazing at this point. All it is phosphoric acid, but it's doing the job. It's definitely keeping the frame from flash rusting this week. Keeping the garage dry with the old hog over there. We're nice and warm. Next step, basically, there's only 2 spots on this whole frame for the new bushings to go in. There's one there, and basically all the rest of the holes are just fine. No worries there. And then one there. So we're gonna go ahead and throw some welds on these holes and round them up and get them strengthened up. It's really not too bad, just a little thin there. So we're gonna go ahead and fix it, but we're gonna go ahead and use the TIG welder today. Got the new TIG welder. It's an Everlast 185, dual voltage. Can use 120 or 240. Right now we're just gonna use 120. I've been practicing a little bit with this thing. Not very pretty. TIG welding is definitely an art in itself, but we're gonna go ahead and do this and see how it turns out. So after that, we're gonna prime and paint this thing. Should be beautiful. We got all the paint, primer, get ready to make it happen. Okay, we got one done. Got the main one done. This was definitely thinner than the back one, but that turned out pretty nice. I ended up having to break out the MIG welder. The TIG was just blowing through the thin metal there, and I just couldn't make it happen. So I broke out the MIG welder, threw some welds on this thing. It's happy. It's just about as thick as factory now that I got all the welds on it. Not a perfect circle, but no worries. That's gonna work out. Then we're just gonna go ahead and do the same thing to this one. It's pretty thin right here, kind of paper thin there, but it gets real thick as it goes out. So just throw some welds on it, grind it. Keep on getting it. All right, moving along. We got our second one done. Got it nice and thick now. No worries there. Got it ground down to where it's nice and even with the frame. And those were the only 2 spots on the whole frame that needed any kind of a dressing, really. And moving along, we're gonna go ahead and do this here. It's called internal frame coating. And basically it's kind of a rust encapsulator, I guess, but comes with this tube. Never used this before. It's got like this 360-degree spray nozzle, and you stick it down in the frame, get it down deep in there, start spraying, and you pull it out. And basically we're going to go ahead and do all 4 internal box frame rails, 2 in the rear, and then 2 in the front. See if we can't get the inside of this frame coated. But you can see kinda the inside of the frame. And wherever there was a hole, the blaster went through and kind of made it down to bare metal. Frame looks really good inside, but we're gonna go ahead and do this too. If we're doing it, we're doing it. So get ready to do that, and then prime and paint this whole frame. Should be interesting. Okay, after using that internal frame coating, that was kind of interesting. Sprays in there like water, but it definitely runs through the inside of the frame, but kind of sprayed out of every hole in the frame. But I would say it was worth it. It took 2 cans to do this, but it seemed like it did a pretty good job. You look down in there, it coated it pretty good. So 2 cans, 50 bucks. $25 a can. It's not cheap, but it is what it is. That's car restoration. So next step, prime and paint this thing. Okay, it is paint day. We actually waited till today to do this because yesterday it was about 55 degrees out and today it's about 66. It's on the cool side, but I think it's gonna work. It's gonna have to work because we're doing this. But getting ready to prime and paint this thing. We got this this 2K Aero Spray epoxy primer. Apparently this is really good stuff from what I've seen. And spray can, it's the only way you can get it. So we're gonna do spray can, which is gonna be a lot easier. The paint, we got a few cans and actual quart. We're gonna be using a spray gun today. I'm a little apprehensive because my spray gun skills are novice at best, but we're gonna make it happen. Get this thing primed and painted and see how it turns out. Come on now. Okay, stage one, all primed up. We used all 4 cans on this thing. Not a real thick coat, but decent coat. It's been flashing for about an hour, so we're gonna go ahead and throw some paint on this thing. See how it turns out. Okay, 1 coat down. I would call this amateur at best. Today was probably the longest I've ever used an actual spray gun on a car, so. But it's looking pretty good. We're getting it done, getting ready to put 1 more coat on this thing. Nice heavy coat. Get it as glossy as we can. Stay tuned, getting it done. final stage. Got the final coat on this thing. Pretty happy with it. Got some nice sheen to it. Laid it on as thick as I could where it really matters. But I'd step up to novice at this point. It looks really good. It's got a little bit of rag lint in there just from the frame prep, phosphoric acid. So if you do attempt to do this, definitely use full-on lint-free rags. And I would say this is definitely not my forte. Could have used a Rick Martin in this situation, but we got it done. It looks fine. We're doing it. Me and Marshall got this thing painted. Let it cure for a few days and start bolting things back on. But like I said, this is definitely not my forte, but it turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. No worries there. But here at Whatever It Takes Garage, you do what you got to do. And that's what we did. So we got that done. Couple days, start bolting things back on here, and the next step is basically do the same thing to the underbody of this car. Prep it, prime it, and paint it. Now we can just bolt it back together. Keep on getting it. Here we are. Got her pushed back in the garage. I want to thank everybody for watching. This was a tedious video for sure, but I would say at this point, we're going to have a really nice driver. So thank you all for watching. Take care. Next step, underbody. Same process. Different part of the car. But we'll see you soon, and we're looking good now.